I actually went through the school district and the school and a lot of the other academic places, even the laws in the state of Arizona, to see, if I could get in trouble from having her out of public school. And there is a law here that says that kids between ages of 6 and 16 need to be enrolled in public school full time. Now you can homeschool your kids, you can, they can go to a charter school or a private school. It doesn't have to be public school. And there are medical exceptions, but it was very difficult to get someone to give me a clear answer of, hey, if you do this because she has the diagnosis and this is something that can help her with her health and her diagnosis or her disability, that it's okay to do that. I still don't even have the answer of, yeah, you're not going to get in trouble for doing this. But I do have the documentation of where she's going every day, all day, and her diagnosis to back that up. But it's still really difficult as a mom to go like, hey, I don't want to be not in compliance with what the state requirements are. And as a mom, you know what's right for your kid. Hey, the school has so many resources. Her class has got 10 or 12 kids in it with all different issues and diagnoses and disabilities, and there's one teacher and 3 or 4 teachers' aides, and it's very hard to streamline care, and we've heard all along and felt that she needed one-on-one, not just in treatment if it's a treatment setting or if it's a school setting. That's how she works best. And, public school, although they get the funding, more funding for a kid with disabilities than just a regular kid, the resources are not there for them to provide your kid with, at least in my experience, with that one-on-one help. So it was a struggle because she loves her teacher, she loves going to school, but I just saw her plateau. She is learning some things academically, but her behavior almost gets in the way of her being able to learn because she just kind of wants to do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And it's hard for her to do anything else. And as an adult, that's a great trait to have, but as a 6-year-old, it's like, how do you teach your kid that they do somewhat have to learn, how society works and how to function in society and all of that, when at her core, she's just like, I don't want to do it because I don't want to do it. So even if I have to do it, because even if I don't want to do it, I just still don't want to do it. So that's kind of a battle all the time. But I do admire that fire about her. And, it's almost like having a lock on something that you just don't have the key for. And I'm hoping that this therapy for her will be the key, or a step to finding the key that unlocks that part of her that just flourishes. And she's not nonverbal. She speaks. She can make her needs known, but she does a lot of scripting. She repeats a lot of things, which is echolalia. That's the medical term for it, but it's just like repeating things that she hears or scripts that she sees in movies or TV shows or whatever she's allowed to watch. When she's allowed to watch it, she does repeat a lot of that. But there's not a lot of like independent conversation of like, hey, how was your day? It's not a full-on conversation. It was like, day was good. That's just kind of like the answer that you get. But I know there's so much more in there for her. So, and that's just kind of the long and the short of it. I am gonna make videos kind of breaking down some things that we have had to deal with throughout this journey. A lot of it is input from outside sources, and a lot of that is family, and a lot of that is, strangers who just don't understand. They see a kid at the store who's having a meltdown and they just think, oh, well, that kid's a brat, and their parent probably needs to discipline them, which, with a kid with ASD, it's not that simple. And a lot of the time it's something that they can't control at that point if they haven't gotten the tools yet to learn how to deal with it. So that's been very interesting as well. But that's just some of, kind of the rough outline of my journey with this. And I'm hoping this can at least help support some people, because I've felt alone in this, with my daughter. Like, I have support from my husband, and that's great. It's just when you don't have someone saying, okay, your kid has a diagnosis, this is what you want to do first, and next do this, and next do this, and next do this. It's very hard because it's not that guided. It's almost like you get a lot of suggestions, but not a lot of advice or a lot of answers on this is what you should do. It's almost like everyone's afraid to tell you to do something, because if it's wrong, then it might be their fault. I remember when I was a kid going to the pediatrician and being sick, and they would be like, okay, you have a cough or you have a fever or whatever your problem is, here's a shot in the butt, send you home, and that was it. Healthcare is just so different now. And a lot of the things that I think or have been looking into are, the controversial things like not vaccines. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I've kind of done research and been told, hey, metals preserve vaccines, for example. So, sometimes our bodies hang on to that metal for a long time, and our body doesn't know how to respond to that. I have not went and researched that to see if that's scientifically what happens. That is not a comment to get, people outraged. If you want to vaccinate your kids, go ahead. If you don't want to vaccinate your kids, don't. You know what's best for them. But a lot of the things that I see with my daughter, are a lot of the same things that I see people talk about, when it's the metal, talking about the metals inside of our body that our body can't get rid of. And, once they detoxify from those things, I don't know if it's a scam or if it's real, because there's people selling supplements or, to kind of detoxify your body from that. And it's like, that would be wonderful if that solved the problem and that turned all of the sensory things around and all the behavior around and all the sleep around, or non-sleep around, I should say. But I just feel like there's never such an easy answer like that. So there's a lot of things such as diet, there's no doctor saying, there's books. I have books, and I have listened to people on YouTube, and I've listened to, read the internet, and there's tons and tons of talk about diet and preservatives and food colorings and the whole long list of everything. It's so intimidating at first, because you go, well, I can't just, turn my kid's world upside down, especially if they have ASD. One of the hard things they have with dealing with is change, whether that be diet, routine, everything, so it just complicates, it further complicates what's already a complicated situation. So if you're interested in content like this, awesome. I, don't have a plan to, I would love to live stream if I get enough people liking this content. I'll keep putting it out there, because I wish somebody would have done this for me when I was like, what the heck do I do? So I hope this just kind of gave an overview of our life so far, our journey so far with autism. And I do like to talk about other things. I do like a lot of true crime, and I like to cook a lot. I've been cooking and baking a lot when I have free time, which is not often. But, I do watch a lot of other content creators that are, legal analysis and true crime and all kinds of things. So there's a lot of things that I could talk about too. So, but yeah, check the videos out. I only have a couple shorts up, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to kind of splice these videos together, because I had to stop recording a few times. But if I may have to just upload all 3 and see what happens. So I apologize if it's not as edited and pretty. You know, I haven't learned how to do that yet, but I promise I will. And I hope you're having a great day, and we'll talk soon.